Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. It's a bit cloudy here today, but I take every day as it comes. Enjoy every precious moment, but hope that you're doing okay. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you again for your support and hope that you are doing well in your lives. I know that there's so much going on. It's just a kind of crazy time in the world right now, and it's hard to find that anchor sometimes, that sense of direction. And I hope that you're all doing okay. But I did have a topic today that I wanted to share with you that's kind of important, I think, to a lot of people on the planet, and particularly to me. And I chose green for my theme, so you'll understand in a second. But I do have a cup of tea here. I've got my Pukka 3-mint tea. And it's not a tea that I normally drink a lot, but I like the green tea bag. So anyway, it's a nice cup of tea, and I hope it's something that you love too. I hope you've got a tea or coffee or something wonderful to share. Anyway, I do, by the way, before we continue, want to mention to you to check out our website, 60andme.com. We've got some new format there now and lots of articles. And it's better to go to the website first to check for new articles rather than waiting for them to appear on your Facebook feed. So you go out there and enjoy the content that we're doing for you. It's topics that you say are of interest to you. And you can vote for that with your comments and your sharing of them. So we do appreciate your support. And I also wanted to remind you about our Patreon channel. We have started a new channel where people who are able to give us a small donation for 60 and Me can go out and join a smaller community of women. We have about 600 now, and it's really lovely to have a place where we can chat in a bit more private way. And I do exclusive videos there, so things that are never shown anywhere else. And they tend to be things that are a little more personal and hopefully useful, but ways that we can chat in a more secure environment. And also we do a monthly live show, which is really fun. We get together on just a live get together and we chat about things that are on our mind. So patreon.com/60andme. If you want to join us on that community, we'd love to have you. So the topic for today, based on an article written by one of our bloggers named Harriet Simonis. Now, Harriet has a passion for the environment and for taking care of our environment, and has written an article on plastic pollution. And I think if you've ever been to a country, well, you could call them third world, but they're not really anymore. They're just places where a lot of tourists go and there's an underdeveloped infrastructure. You'll find a lot of plastic trash. And it breaks my heart every time I even see pictures of it. But as Harriet says, the smallest things can make a difference. And when it comes to the environment, there are things that we can do right where we are in our own hometown. And some of it just isn't very hard. Actually, to be honest with you, there are people now doing things in the third world countries, quotes, that are more advanced than the West. In Bali and Indonesia, places like Java, they've got a very good friend of mine, actually, Alex, has actually spearheaded this no plastic bottle initiative, where people can go into a shop and refill their bottles and don't have to buy new plastic bottles all the time because they just get thrown away. Anyway, Harriet wrote this article. She's got 12 simple habits that we can do in our own homes. And I don't know whether we'll get through all of them, but check out the article because it's super useful and practical, very interesting. And of course, plastic pollution is just one aspect of a whole global concern about global climate change and environmental damage, and the impact it's having on animals and wildlife and vegetation. But whatever your point of view on this, whether you believe it or not, I think that there is definitely something going on in our world that we know there's a connection between certain things. And plastic pollution, I think, is one of the easiest ones to see. We can see the bottles, and there's nowhere to put them because they take forever to, well, I don't know if they ever do completely recycle or decompose. And so they fill up our seas, they fill up our landfills. And that's pretty much real world, whether you believe the rest or not. So be conscious about your use of plastics. That's the theme of this particular chat. And some ways you can help. So for example, if you always buy shampoo in a bottle, right? You buy shampoo, you go on your trips, you buy those little bottles, you just keep buying plastic bottles to fill up with stuff. Why not switch to a bar soap? If you've got a Lush store in your neighborhood, they do a really cool little bar that's a soap, it's a shampoo, it's you can use it to wash your clothes, and it's wrapped up in paper rather than plastic, and it's made. I think it lasts about 60 to 90 days, so it's really useful, economical, and easy to get, easy to buy. And there's other products too, but you can just be conscious about buying products that are in plastic bottles. For example, dishwashing liquid. I now try to buy, just one big one and then put it into smaller little containers. Just recycle the containers, basically, and because it's hard to avoid plastic. I mean, everywhere you go in the shops, that's how you buy stuff. It's like, where do you buy washing up liquid that's not in a plastic jar? So another thing you can do is to switch your toothbrush for a bamboo one. There's lots of cool products. By the way, Harriet has a website full of all this great information. You can check it out. But you can buy a bamboo toothbrush, which is not made of plastic, obviously. And the handle is decomposable. Is that decompostable? You could put it in the compost. It dissolves. And so finding a toothbrush is easy. There's lots of really cool shops now that sell them, including Harriet's, and you can just go and see what's available. And we're supposed to change our toothbrushes like every few months, so that can be a real hit on the plastic population. Keep your bamboo utensils in a bag. I mean, don't, for example, chopsticks, you can just take it in a little pouch and use them over and over. You don't have to keep using those plastic spoons and forks that you get when you're traveling or at a cafe. It's really important. Those utensils can add up and leave a lot of do a lot of damage to the environment. You can strop a plastic straw for a little bamboo straw set. These, again, are decompostable, so they're actually safe, and they make a great present for kids. Kids love this. Kids love to help, and I think that's actually one of the things that, as older women, we can do. We can educate them. We can say, you don't have to have that plastic toothbrush. How about this bamboo one? And give them some alternatives. And you could even make your own toothpaste. That's another thing she talks about. A little recipe in the article. Simple coconut oil, baking soda, peppermint oil, and you have toothpaste. And you don't need to buy another plastic container. You can also make your own mouthwash, and there's a great little recipe for that too. But it's all about thinking creatively about how to avoid buying so much stuff that is in plastic containers and coming up with your own creative ideas. Now, toilet paper. Okay, so toilet paper was a touchy one because did you know that the average person in the United States uses 100 rolls of toilet paper every year? And you can shop online for companies that are using different kinds of toilet paper. There's one called Who Gives a Crap, which I think is quite a fun name for a business that's selling alternative toilet paper. And it's made from bamboo or recycled paper. And they ship in boxes that don't have any plastic in them. That's another whole thing, is packaging. A lot of companies use plastic packaging, but there's lots of people, and this particular one I just mentioned, they donate a lot of their profit to charities. So you'll find these types of businesses that are doing good or trying to do good by offering non-plastic products. Another thing, of course, we all have kitchens where we're trying to save, leftovers, and we wrap it up in plastic wrap, and that's a good thing, that we're not wasting food. But a lot of those plastic wraps don't decompose either. So you can wrap up in, paper. They have paper wraps. And Harriet mentions reusable beeswax wraps. I've not seen these before, but apparently they're reusable. Like you wash them and they just keep on wrapping. And you can wrap food, cheese, and it's different vegetables, things that you would normally wrap up in plastic or even paper. So that those wraps apparently can last up to a year. And those are a really good alternative. They can be kind of molded around any food you want to save. I mentioned recyclable bottles. That's a good one. Use glasses. Use a glass at home. Use a mug. Don't have to use plastic containers. Just use a mug. Wash it and it lasts forever until you break it. What else? And there's actually lots of packaged or lots of thermoses now that you can buy. So when you go out, you don't need to buy a coffee in a paper container. You just have them put it in your thermos. Starbucks, I think, even gives a discount when you do that. So, and even Harriet mentions your tea bag. Actually, the lining of the tea bag is even not good for the environment. So you could actually try using tea leaves rather than I'm afraid Pekka's going to have to get their act together there. But you can also make your coffee in like a glass press. Just anything that you can put into glass or a mug is a good thing because you're not using a plastic container. And again, one of the reminders that she mentions, and I do this all the time here in Switzerland, is to shop at local markets because you can just put those vegetables right into a bag that you take. You don't need to ask them for a plastic carrier bag, and you give support to local businesses too. So, I think it's all kind of a combination of things you can do to save the environment and be responsible. It's our only planet. We don't have a planet B, so we have no plan B. This is it. Let's try our best to do what we can. And I want to thank Harriet for the article. I think it's important to remind ourselves what we can do. So, do you have any practices that you use to reduce your waste? And what practices do you think are readily implementable in your daily routine? What's easy to do to save waste and plastic? Just leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a conversation. I'm really looking forward to this one. And thank you again for all that you do. And I hope this has been a value conversation. If there's other things you want us to chat about, please always leave notes in the section below. We've got open minds to that. So tell us what recycling techniques you use in your day-to-day life. Thanks for being here again, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.